Thank you very much for joining. Jaya ji, Ashok ji, Akash, Anish, Dr. Vinay Bhatt is here. Welcome, Sadam. We'll wait till maybe another 2-3 minutes and then start. Okay. Feel free to keep your videos on. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions as I continue. Um, Welcome to this free webinar. So, so it's been a long day, and we have a tendency to refer to our past every now and then. And I was thinking what topic I can take up for a webinar like this, because webinar is something that I had in mind from a very long time, and I just wanted to share what I know. I've been into regression therapy, clinical hypnotherapy, and these things from a very long time now. It's not just 2-3 years I have been doing this full time, and I wanted to share what I know because I found healing my past very amazingly beautiful and amazingly useful for me. And I thought this knowledge needs to be shared. So this entire webinar is more of a discussion, more of a sharing what I know and maybe even learn from you. And no judgments, no limitations. This is just a 40-50 minutes or maybe 1 hour discussion. Uh, I share what I know. You can share what you know, and it can be a very nice interactive discussion going forward. So, a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining in, making your time. May the universe bring you the best of knowledge, best of experience, which will help you in moving forward with our life. So the topic is very simple, and the topic is how does the your past affecting your present? How does it happen? I mean, what is the past doing in the present? How does the past affect our present? What do we carry from our past which affects our present? Now, it's very interesting that we, most of the time, live in the present, but we are influenced by our past. The past is always with us, it is always influencing, deviating us. Our past experiences define who we are. So, as we move forward in our lives in today's journey, slowly and slowly we see that most of our past experiences, most of our past beliefs, most of our what do you say, Um, it is a conclusions. Most of our decisions, they have something coming from the past, a previous experience, maybe from a childhood experience, maybe we have learned it from our parents, maybe we have learned it from our friends, but we always been influenced by our past experiences when we make decisions in the present, when we live in the present. And very often we find that these past experiences are very closely influencing our present. For example, lot of beliefs that we carry. I'll take a very common example of a success. You need to work hard to be successful, is what we always say. We we have a tendency, we have learned it from our teachers, we have learned it from our parents, we have learned it from our mentors, we have learned it from our gurus. Hard work hard to gain success. Is it the only way to gain success? Has everyone who has succeeded has worked hard? Are they people who have worked smart and became successful? Are they people who worked brilliantly without working hard, without taking that stress, tension, and pain? Have they become successful? Yes, they have. But why do we carry that kind of a belief? That's how the past is affecting us. That is how the past is actually taking us forward with its own influences, with its own, thoughts and ideas coming from the maybe the childhood experiences, maybe from the parents, maybe from somebody else, or interestingly, maybe even from a previous lifetimes, maybe even from our ancestors. We carry their energies in our genes, so maybe it is coming from even our ancestors. So, what are the elements that we come from the past? Past beliefs, past conclusions, past experiences. If I drown once and I feel like I'm suffocated and I'm dying, then I am definitely afraid to get into the water one more time. And if I'm carrying a fear or a phobia of large water bodies, it is very much possible that I have had a bad experience with the water body somewhere in the past, maybe in my childhood, or maybe even a previous lifetime. So we carry so many things from the past. And whenever there is a past experience influencing our current decisions, we are not making our decisions fully as an adult of today. So now I am 37 years old and I have the maturity and understanding of a 37-year-old. But somehow, because I drowned before somewhere in my past life or somewhere in my childhood, I had a near death experience. And now I am afraid of water bodies. So I will never get into the water. So I am not able to make an adult decision, even though I know I have life jacket, even though I know the boat is safe. Even every one of my friends who are with me for the boating is trying to tell me, hey, nothing to worry, let's go ahead. Let's enjoy this moment. I am not able to enjoy this moment because a past experience is holding on to me. And I am so fearful that I cannot get into the water. This is my real experience I'm talking about, anyways. So I had a fear of large water bodies, which I addressed it later, and now hopefully I can go for a cruise or something when the time comes. Anyways, so I don't want this session to be very, um, you know, more like a speech or something. So even though this is a webinar, let's call this an interactive discussion. Is there anyone in this group who has a past experience haunting at this moment in the present? You have a feeling that this is my past experience. It is bothering me now. Anyone? Feel free to jump in, unmute yourself, and do share your thoughts. Anyone? Is
Yes, Adarsh, Anish here.
yes, yes, go ahead, please.
When I climb a large building or even trekking or something like that,
Mhm.
I cannot look down from the top because I feel very unsafe and I fear a lot. My
Mhm.
legs and hands start shivering.
Okay.
I cannot explain exactly what happens to me, but I cannot look down. So as soon as I look
Yeah.
down, there is a dizziness. Head starts
Fear of
rotating. All these things.
fear of heights.
Yes, fear of it.
Okay. Southern, you wanted to say something? Anybody else who has a past experience want to share? Anyone else? Right. So let me put it in a simple way. This is my mind. I'm not very good at drawing, but let me try. This is my mind. This is my full consciousness of today. I am here in the today, in here and now. And this is my consciousness. 100%. My mind, my soul energy, everything is here in the present. However, I have a very traumatic past experience somewhere in my childhood. It is very, very, very traumatic, and the emotions are not processed. I was unable to comprehend what is happening. It was so traumatic. So many things happened in a very small time, very short time. It was too much, too much, too much, too much. My hands are shivering. I am palpitation. I am, anxious, fearful. I can't stand. I forgot where I am. So many things have happened to me. It was too much. It was overwhelming for me. So my part of my mind and my consciousness is stuck with this unprocessed emotion. It has created a cocoon of itself. It has become a bundle of thought and emotions stuck in the past. I have one more experience here where my teacher scolded me and I felt so ashamed and so bad. I have one more experience. My friend bullied me in the past. I feel so bad about it. I have one more very small incident happened where I had a stage fear. I was talking to the people very first time. I stammered. I did something and everybody laughed at me. This is the very first time I proposed to a girl and she rejected me. I was in the womb. My mother and father were discussing, let's get this child aborted. We don't want her. I feel rejected. I couldn't process that emotion. In a past life, I got stuck in an earthquake and so many things happened in a very short time. I fell and the entire building collapsed on me and I die in trauma. These are all my past experiences. So many parts of my consciousness and mind stuck in the past. I hope everybody is able to see what I'm drawing. Is it visible? The whiteboard is visible? Anybody?
Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Okay, okay, great. So as this happens, my consciousness is split and my mind is stuck with an unprocessed emotion. This is an unprocessed emotion. This is an unprocessed emotion. So many unprocessed, undigested past is here. While I was dying out of earthquake, I was confused and I was feeling heavy. I had headaches. I had head injury. So many unprocessed things. When I had stage fear, my legs were shivering and so many things happened. And when my teacher was scolding me, I was feeling fearful, I was feeling sad, I was feeling this, that, so many things happened. In every moment, I may have drawn also some conclusions. Maybe while dying in this moment, I thought life is unfair and I have been killed for no reason. Maybe while teacher was hitting me, I have decided all teachers are like this. Maybe while this experience happened, I have decided something else. Maybe when a friend bullied me, I thought the friendship is not doing worthwhile. I will never make friends again. This is my past decision. But when I am now trying to make a friendship, this decision, this experience is stopping me from trusting a friend. So I may do make a friend, very good friend. Somewhere as the time passes, I start doubting him. Maybe he will betray me again. Maybe he will bully me again. I have to protect myself. So I will slowly keep going forward about this. And finally, friendship breaks. Now this becomes a pattern repetition. Why this is happening? Because it's very simple. Emotions are electromagnetic in nature. Let's say I am 37 years old. This is my emotion of being sad. I have a past experience in 12 years old who felt the same sadness. I have a past experience of 2 years old who also felt the same sadness. The same sadness is coming back, that's all. The same sadness and life is unfair. This experience. I have a past life who felt life is unfair because I died in an accident and I was thriving. Life is unfair, life is unfair, life is unfair. Now I do not have such a strong reason to be feeling unfair, but bec- because I had so many experiences of my past, life is so unfair even for a very little thing now because I am feeling all of this together because there is only one body for me to feel this now. So I am getting an intensified emotion coming from all my past experiences. And the 37-year-old, I am feeling life is so unfair, I don't want to live. I want to do something about it. I feel this is out of control. When we work with therapy, when we work on our past, to heal the past, to process this emotion, to process this undigested information, conclusion, or whatever we have made, when we work on this, slowly, step by step, when we heal and let go of these past experiences and digest them and process them, then this conclusion of life is unfair stops, and I will start seeing the life in a new angle, with a new understanding, with a new perspective. I will start seeing it. When I start seeing it in a new perspective and a new understanding, then I can do something about it. So this is how usually a past directly affects our present. So all our past experiences. Many conclusions that we make, like all men are idiots, all females are not trustworthy, all fathers are always like that. My mother never listened to me. My son never listens to me. My Every time I go to a friendship, I get betrayed. I always fail. I fear that I always fail. So many conclusions that come, they are coming from our past experiences, and we are holding on to it. And they define our current life. They define how we behave. They define how we make differences. It's interesting. If I have to give you a very simple, idea of this, uh, let's say we meet a person and we're meeting him for the very first time, and he says, instead of making a very pleasant interaction with me, he says, "Oh, Adarsh, why are you dressed like this? Can't you dress in a better way?" And now I am irritated. The first impression with this person is irritation. Second time the person comes, when I meet him again, he makes the same comment again. Why are you dressed in red? Others, you should have been wearing pink. Pink is a good color for, Tuesday. Why does it matter for you? And as this happens, the the most common thing that will happen is like, okay, this person is like that. I'm now developing a conclusion about this, this entire thing. A conclusion probably, uh, which is slightly biased because of my previous experience. And as this biased previous experience comes in, third time when I look at this person, when I meet this person, he's again passing a comment. And as he passes a comment, as he passes a comment, what happens? I am now irritated one more time. This happened 3 times in a row. I have number one, number two, number three things. So this time I have drawn a conclusion about this person. Like, okay, this person is always like this. His attitude is not good. And I feel irritated every time when he creates, a conclusion about me, or he's commenting on me. So I have this past experience coming back to back to me again and again and again and again, again and again. So this is my experience. This is my emotion. This is the person. And I am connecting my emotion with the person again and again and again and again. Now this is creating a neural pathway for me. And with this neural pathway, I am developing a conclusion or a belief that this person is like this. I am concluding. Fourth time, the next time the person comes in front of me, the first thought that comes to me is that this person is always like this. So I'm done. So the moment he appears in front of me, I am already irritated. I don't want to even look at his face. And this happens very, very straightforward way. It happens very subtle way, in a very subconscious way. Okay. Close this probe. So this is a simple past life or past experience that is bothering us. Any questions, please? Because now I'm going to talk about more past life things. Any questions, anything to share? Feel free to share. Come on, guys. This is an interactive session. Feel free to talk. Okay, I guess all of us are listeners.
Does this happen also with our parents at our home?
Yeah, it has. It happens. Definitely.
Because all the other places we can avoid. Because if somebody we doesn't like, we can
So
avoid.
that is why, obviously, when in a family, this is very strong, where you have a bias or you have a prefixed mindset about your family members. We call it a homeostasis. Everybody has got a role and it's a fixed role and nothing changes for a very, very long time. Yes, please go ahead. Prakash ji.
Yeah. Is there anything without your knowledge, any past experiences will affect our present life?
Yes, of course. Because without experience, in the sense, the experience should be there in the past. It's subconsciously there. You consciously may not remember, but it is always there, and that is affecting our current life, the present moment.
No, that is in the past in the sense Do you mean the previous incarnation or on the present
So
incarnation?
when I say past, it could be
Hmm.
starting from yesterday all the way up to the moment when we incarnated into the mother's womb. It is
Okay.
from yesterday all the way up to the birth, from birth all the way back to the moment when we landed into the womb, mother's womb. And
Hmm.
then it can even go back to one lifetime or even multiple lifetimes. There are cases where the rejection, the feeling of rejection kept coming back across multiple
Hmm.
lifetimes. Not one life, but across multiple lifetimes, the feeling of rejection keep coming back. So it is very much possible that as soon as the child, the soul lands into the womb, this feeling of rejection comes back.
Hmm.
Maybe in the form of, the parents talking about
Okay.
abortion, or the mother not welcoming the child. And the moment,
Hmm.
the first moment when the, mother becomes aware
Hmm.
of the pregnancy, her reaction defines
Hmm.
the future of the child, and how she shares
Hmm.
it with the father also defines the future of the
Hmm.
child. It can trigger many past lives at that moment if the negative emotions are involved. Did I answer you properly?
Okay. Definitely, sir.
Yeah.
So, as of my life, I don't have any experiences or any fear at present. Also, so that is the
Okay.
reason I just asked this question.
Yeah. So most of us do have some effects coming from the previous lifetimes. And for some reason, the patterns start developing with us. When we have a pattern repetition, this becomes very, very strong. For example, relationship, betrayal in relationships. So every
Hmm.
time a person gets into a relationship, the relationship breaks with a
Hmm.
betrayal or with a feeling of, rejection or something like that. Then it is
Yes.
very, very much possible that there is a previous experience which is coming from a different lifetime where this betrayal was felt before.
Okay.
And whenever we are using statements, eternal statements, we call it, like, all men are not trustworthy. When a woman says that, it is coming from it's obvious that it is coming from another lifetime.
Hmm. Okay.
It's very natural.
Right.
That's how it usually works. And when it is an unprocessed emotion, why the betrayal came, from where it started, it's an unprocessed, undigested emotion. So whenever there is an unprocessed, undigested emotion, it is obviously going to affect in the present. Yes, Anish.
Adding to sir's question, I just have one doubt here.
Mm.
Every experience, what we feel in the current lifetime or while we are living in the now, whether it is
Mm.
connected to the past or it might be fresh also.
It might be fresh. Every experience may not be connected to the past, because every lifetime has got a learning, has a purpose. So we incarnate for the purpose of learning new things, to understand the earth curriculum, to understand how the life works in earth, what are the emotions, what are the various earthly experiences, the earth energies, the money, the feelings, the bodily feelings, everything is connected to earth. So when we incarnate on earth, it is definitely to gain a new experience. Now, what happens when a past experience is affecting your current life? Then whatever you are supposed to learn in current life, it becomes incomplete, or it's not serving its purpose. For example, I was supposed to learn, or the purpose of my life, or the major learning of my life, was to, uh, what example I can take? Self-love. It's the most common tendency to, learn self-love. When I'm trying to learn self-love in my current life, if I have a life which was completely immersed or completely into the experiences of self-hatred or inferiority complex, like I am good for nothing, Or I have a childhood experience where my father tells you are good for nothing. Bayogya. We often, listen to this word coming from teachers or coming from, parents. When they are in a bad space, they tend to say something like this. And if the child is very vulnerable at that moment, it is very much possible that the child has internalized that statement that yes, I am an nanobiogya, I am an incompatible person. And the entire concept of learning to be self-worthy, or the self-worth, the self-love that I am looking for, or the way how I need to respect myself and learn to respect myself, to love myself, this entire program can be derailed and go into an entirely different way if my past experience is exactly opposite of this. If I am supposed to have, I have a soul contract with my, with a person with whom I am supposed to live a very good marital life, with a very good marriage life, and I have a past life experience of, you know, failing in a relationship, or if I have a past life energy holding on to me, you know, I made a oath, or I made a vow to another soul in my past, and I have told that soul that I will be with you forever across any lifetimes. I will never leave you. Now that person's energy is going to be sitting in my space, and that person's energy will hold on to that oath or that vow, and my energy is also holding on to that oath or vow. And obviously, when I get into a relationship with this person as a new soul, as a new experience, this past oath is going to put a break to this relationship, and what I'm supposed to learn in this relationship is not going to happen. So that point of time, the relationship goes for a toll. It takes a toll, and then it becomes miserable. Then it becomes painful. Then you'll have to go to a therapist to find out why I am not able to understand or have a good relationship with her. So for new experiences are also possible. There are fresh experiences. There are influenced uh, energies or the past experiences holding on. Everything can be new. New experiences are very much possible. So Prakash ji have a question for me as, how did you overcome your fear of water bodies? So I went through a regression session in one of my practice sessions as I was doing my certification course. So it landed in a past life of a small boy who was crossing a large river, and the boat, it got into um, the flood or something, and then I drowned, and it was very traumatic and fearful. Reliving that moment, this entire experience, I relived it in a regression session. All those emotions were felt, all those emotions were experienced, that fear, that death experience, which was unprocessed. When I relived it with a new understanding as Adarsh of today, once I get that new understanding, okay, this is a past experience which I can let go, and that emotions gets processed. And once I understand that life, and this is what I was supposed to do in that life, this is how it ended. Was it an accident? Was it, did I have a choice? When I, all these things, when I do it, then that emotion is processed. Then that part of consciousness is completely integrated in me with a new understanding. I become more complete. When I become more complete, that fear automatically goes. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
I don't know why I behave like this, but
Mhm.
when I try to do something, the people will doubt me. I act like that.
Mhm.
I act like that way only. Because, for example, if I have to ride bike alone, I ride
Mhm.
however I want and
Okay.
safely. But when I have
Mhm.
to take someone with me, nagging doubt will start to pop up in my mind,
Mhm.
and I do some little mistakes, and that makes people to doubt on me. Am I doing
So,
it right or not? That's fine.
so you become
I
conscious.
don't. Huh.
and you would
And
start doubting yourself.
hmm,
Do you doubt yourself, or you feel somebody else is watching you and you are
yeah,
behaving
some
suspiciously?
someone is watching
What
me,
is it?
and that makes me feel conscious about me and doubt about myself.
What kind of emotion is it? Is it a fear? Is it a sadness? When people are watching you, someone is watching you, you say.
Like I don't, hmm,
Mhm.
I feel a little bit fear about that.
What happens if someone
Being
watches
noticed
you?
is, and that is also making me to have relationship with others. That difficulty in having relationship
Mhm.
with others. If anybody is showing affection or care about me, I feel like, am I
Mhm.
really worthy about of this?
Can you simply say 5 times, someone is watching me,
Yeah,
and just tell me what happens? Someone is watching me. Keep
actually,
repeating.
I'm feeling that one now.
Yeah.
I
And
really fear to talk with group of people. Like
yes.
one or two people are there, I can handle. But when there is a group of people,
So what's happening to
now
your
also,
body?
like my hands are
What are you
shaking,
feeling? Yeah.
and you can hear my voice is also trembling. Like
It is a fear coming from your past experience. Because that statement, if I have to point that out to the audience, that statement is full of emotions. Someone is watching me. So what went wrong when someone is watching you? There is the origin of your fear. So when you regress, when you go back in time to the origin of that story, when things went wrong, when someone is watching you, or that fear, that the tone of the voice and everything changed. So when you go back to that experience and you process that emotion, and then that part of consciousness integrates with you, and then that fear will be completely gone. You need a regression session for this. Because if I cannot do it right now here, but yeah, you need a
okay,
personal session. Right now, for now, what you can do is, if you need a quick help, is your hands are shaking? What's happening to you?
yes, sir. Like
Just
I can feel
which,
from inside, but they are not really
yeah.
shaking. Like
Is it one hand shaking or both hands?
both.
So just hold it like this, or just hold like this. Hold like, however you are comfortable, but hold both of your hands touching each other. Say, I see
Yeah,
you. Just repeat as I say, I see you.
I see you.
I acknowledge you.
I acknowledge you.
I understand you.
I understand you.
I accept you.
I accept you,
And I'll come back to you.
and I will come back to you.
Whatever happened to you, it is okay.
Whatever is happened to you is okay.
It's okay. But I'm seeing you now. I acknowledge you.
Seeing you
And I'll
now,
come
I
back to you.
acknowledge,
You
and I will
keep
come back.
taking deep breaths and slowly breathe out. And as you breathe out, slowly and slowly, as you breathe out, slowly allow that past experience to settle. And you come
So
back to here and now, becoming more and more present. How old are you, Sadan?
22.
You just keep saying, I'm 22 years old and I'm in charge of this body. I'm living in the here and now. I'm living in the present. I understand this is a past experience. I'll come back to it. But I live in the here and now. I'm 22 years old and I am in charge of this body. This body belongs to the adult me. And I do not want this fear here and now. Just check if anything changes.
Like normal thing only. Just
Is
getting
it
to normal
is it better?
a little bit.
Good, you can try this whenever it happens. or you can do a complete set of EFT. There is a technique called emotional freedom technique. Maybe I'll share the videos for you if needed. So when you tap 9 points with a repeated sentence, it can give you a temporary relief. But to let go of the entire fear, you definitely need a regression session. And Prakash ji, yes, I do conduct a regression session. That is my full-time job. Okay. Anyone else who is badly affected by the past? So I was talking about the problems. Maybe I can move ahead with the next topic. Is it okay? So I showed you a problem. Now let's talk about the solutions. So the important point where, because we don't know that the past is affecting us. 90% of the time we leave it to the fate. We say this is our karma. Yes, karmic connections are definitely there. The karma is definitely there. The residual energy from coming from a previous lifetime or from an ancestor is already there. There are many religions which do not believe in previous lifetimes. They say this is the only life. But we have ancestral energies or the experiences that belongs to some other life. Maybe our ancestors, or maybe a different lifetime. It doesn't matter whether it's a different lifetime or an ancestor, but understand that it belongs to past, and the past is affecting the future. And when we heal the past, the present becomes more phenomenal, more powerful, and more stronger. Every regression therapy session makes the client more powerful and stronger. Every regression session is a very powerful, very strong session that's happening in the client's space. It's a reliving experience of a past, but with a new understanding and a new light, with a new angle and a new perception. When you look at things from a better understanding, it's easy to understand, it is easy to let go. When you know that you have taken an oath from a different lifetime or an ancestral being or an ancestral energy has taken an oath saying that I will never make money. Maybe he got robbed and he died a really bad death and he was unable to process his emotions. So he decided, I don't want money ever in my life. I don't want money even for my family now. My entire family hate has to refrain itself from money. This is my dying thought. And as this life dies with that thought, that energy gets carried forward, that emotion gets carried forward to the next generation, and to the next generation, and to the next generation. This becomes an ancestral issue where the entire ancestral, tendency is to not to love money or not to make money or not to generate money. So the poverty prevails. Or even if they make money, they cannot save it, or they cannot process the emotion related to money. They can't feel anything for it. So there are a lot of such ancestral energies travel through us, and they keep traveling to the next generation unless we cut. We process the emotion from there, that ancestor standpoint, and then we heal it. And then we can let go of those emotions, and then we can move on. I have done quite a few extensive ancestral sessions where there were oaths, there were guilt, greed, sadness coming from across lifetimes. Even my own ancestral lineage had issues coming from multiple lifetimes. I had an ancestor who was holding on to money while he was dying, and he did not want to even um, understand and assess how much money does he have. But he has decided that whatever money I have is not enough for me, not enough for my commitments. And I have seen through the generations, this energy has traveled, and even in my current life, for a very long time, I have felt that the money I have is not enough for my needs. And I have created and attracted situations around me which made me feel that I do not have enough money. Yes, I am still in the process of healing, anyways. So this happens when the past keeps haunting and keeps traveling through the generations. This is about the ancestral side of it. There are previous lifetimes, there are ancestral lifetimes, or either ways, whether you believe in the past lives or you don't believe in the past lives. The important baseline is here that it's coming from a different lifetime, a different personality. And then there are childhood traumas, the experiences that come for a very small age, from the womb experiences, from the childhood, very early childhood, how the father is treating us, how the mother is treating us, how the teachers are treating us, how the friends are treating us. So as we grow, we keep accumulating various beliefs from our past, and our every decision that we are making today is mostly having a background coming from the past. So when we are working on a regression therapy or clinical hypnotherapy for that matter, is now going to the root of the problem. The root of the problem can be in a childhood experience. It can be a different personality altogether. I have felt angry so many times that now I have developed an angry personality. And this anger is always out of control. So I don't know what happens to me the moment somebody says something about my ability to carry out an operation. I become furious, and I have, for no reason, I am feeling extra anger, uncontrolled anger. I have deep anger issues. When I have deep anger issues, what is my problem? I have developed an angry personality, that's all. So yeah, I do have an angry personality, that's why I'm coughing now. Anyways, so this angry personality becomes a sub personality. It's a different personality. It is me, but it is a different personality with a different behavior, which is not, maybe, which is not normal. So it's a different personality in the current life, affected by past, accumulated by past. And then there are experiences of previous lifetimes, and then there are experiences of the childhood experience, and there are experiences or energies of somebody else, which is not ours. When our aura keeps our consciousness inside our body. And whenever we are going through a lot of emotions, emotional fluctuations are happening, our aura vibrates, it shakes, sometimes it breaks. When it breaks, our consciousness may be slowly going out. Sometimes we attract energies of a different people or personalities or different energies, which are foreign energies, attracted to our own space, our own aura. When they come into our own aura, their experiences are going to affect us as well. Just like how our past is, giving problems to us, the external energies are also capable of affecting us with their own emotions and their own unprocessed conclusions and things. So if I talk about the external energies, it will be a different session. So let's not get more into it. But let's talk about how to heal this. So I will not take much of this time. The healing is very simple and straightforward. It's a simple regression session. You can heal the past through regression sessions. You can heal the past by visiting past lives or past experiences. Inner child work is very beautiful and very deep. I think we will discuss about inner child healing in the coming future sessions, where it's an amazing experience as a client. I have gone through immense, quite a few sessions, which have given me a deep relaxation, which has made me an entirely new person as I went through the inner child healing. Inner child healing is beautiful, it's amazing. It is also a regression, but it is limited to the current life experiences. It's called inner child healing. And then we have past life therapy, where the therapeutic approach to heal the past experiences. It also extends to the ancestral healing, where the entire lineage is healed. So we find trace backwards from where this energy is coming, where this feeling or the unprocessed emotion is coming, and we reverse it through the generations. And they finally we heal that personality who is in whose life this energy or this emotion or this experience was unprocessed or undigested. We digest it from our angle, from our viewpoint, and then we heal the entire lineage. This not only affects the client who is undergoing the therapy, most of the time it also affects the entire family also. It's a very collective kind of healing. Regression, other than regression therapy, there are family constellations, systemic constellations, alternative methods to heal your past. It gives a better understanding, better the soul level understanding it brings to you. Clinical hypnotherapy works amazingly well for age regression, even for past life regression. It's an amazing tool. I use a combination of clinical hypnotherapy and Tasso regression therapy. So Tasso regression therapy is said to be one of the transpersonal regression therapy, as they call it. It's one of the most effective regression healing techniques, regression techniques in the world. And it's very powerful, it's very deep, it's very intense. Intense is the right word actually, because a regression therapist will take you to the past, will make you look at it and understand it. But a tassotherapist will make you relive through this entire experience in a way it never comes back to you. So the a very good tassotherapist, if he works on your fear is permanently gone, it will never come back to you. For migraines, for many allergic issues, allergies, the allergies that come from a very young age are very commonly coming from a different lifetime experience. The allergies that start from 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and all, they're usually past experiences. I have worked a few clients with such experiences. So, as this happens, this regression therapy is very deep and very intense. Tasso therapies are even more intense, to be frank. But they heal the past by processing those emotions. The baseline is to process the emotions. If you are able to look at your past and process the unprocessed, undigested feelings and emotions and the experience, even the physical experience, then you can move on. When people say, I have moved on from my past, I ask them, have you really moved on? If you have really moved on, then the past should not be affecting you. You should not be feeling that negative emotions when you're talking about the past. If you have moved on from a relationship, when you talk about the relationship, you should be able to talk about it with an acceptance, with an understanding, with a maturity. If you are scolding that person from morning to evening, and if you are simply repeating that scolding with every person that you met, okay, that person did like this, like this, like that, like that, like that, then you are just reliving the past moments. You have not moved on from it. So this happens with many of us, and we are unable to let go of the past. And when we are let go of the past with a better understanding, it becomes a very, very deep healing, and it helps you to take a leap forward. It's not just one step forward, it's a leap. It's a very, it's a jump towards the present, being fully here in the here and now. It improves your productivity, it improves your understanding, it improves your knowledge, it makes you very peaceful, and all the positive emotions, positive sides to it. A person who has drawn a conclusion in the early ages of his life, like 2 3 years, 3 years, or below 8 years, if a child makes the conclusion that uh, I am a failure, no matter how much circus that person does at the age of 30 35, the success doesn't come, because the childhood experience has brought a conclusion that I'm a failure. If a child decides that I can never score because my teacher said so, or because my experience says so, I can never score, that child, no matter how brilliant it is, cannot score, because the childhood experience and the decision says I cannot score. This is how it is. And when we relive and regress, this can be easily and amazingly healed. One more last thing I need to cover is accidental trauma. When we get into accidents, of course, it's a past experience. The accident involves mental trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma. So mental trauma is mostly confusion, don't know what to do, don't know how this is happening, denial. And the emotional trauma is sadness, fear, shock, and so many things. Shock is a mental charge anyways. So Physical trauma is the physical experience that we go through, the physical shock and the energy that travels through our body. When we heal an accidental trauma, it brings lot of our consciousness and lot of our energy back. And many a time it also heals the wound much more faster. And it also makes sure that this accidental trauma does not initiate new pains in your body, because the shock energy travels through the body. It gets stored somewhere, it gets absorbed somewhere. And whenever it is absorbing, that pain stays. So many times, accidental pain, the pain caused by the accidents or the fractures, they remain for a very long time. It can be easily healed through accidental trauma healing in a regression session by reliving and re-looking at the entire moment and then healing it in a systematic way. So that is all about regression and the past experiences affecting our current experiences. Feel free to ask any questions if you have. And of course, I will share the recording. Any questions? So then, are you feeling okay now?
Yeah, okay.
Good. Anybody else? If you have any doubts, any questions, or anything you would like to share, feel free to share. Okay. So I think I have covered most of the things. And I want to take up these kind of webinars. It's just an interactive discussion. This is just what I know a few things and I want to share them, and maybe I want to learn from you as you all share your own experiences. But I have plans to make these sessions more interesting by taking up some real-time cases also, like the how the Southern came up with his issue. It's possible to do small remedies like that. Anyways, so thank you very much for making time and discussing, sharing. I know I have put the timeline as 8 to 9:30, but 9:30 it goes if there is a deeper discussion happening, deeper questions happening. If there are no questions, then my topic is done for 1 hour. And feel free to ask any questions. If there are no questions, then we will wind up the session and we will meet again some other time.
Adarsh, you shared very nicely.
Thank you so
You
much.
have a lot of clarity about the subject, because I have also read a lot about these things, so I know a little bit about it. So you shared very nicely. And one question for everybody's sake, I'm asking: how long does the session take?
One regression session is around 1.5 hours. I usually work on a theme. If it is a theme of issues, for example, let's say if it is a fear, it is usually one session. But if it is a feeling of betrayal coming again and again, it could be coming from multiple lifetimes. So then I split the sessions into multiple sessions, 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour. Maybe I'll work through 2 sessions to heal the entire theme. So usually one session is 1.5 hour, and at the maximum it goes up to 2 hours.
And the sessions, are they online or offline?
I do both kind of sessions. Offline sessions are actually a bit more powerful because I'm able to see the client's body language full, and the body language says a lot of things. And then online sessions also I take. Online sessions are equally effective, but I do it with a little bit of limitation and adjustments.
Any age, from which age onwards we can do that?
Usually above 8 or above 10, anybody can go through regression. The basic need for a regression therapy is to have a ability to think properly, a good vocabulary. When we are using words like consciousness, energy, or a past life experience, the person should be able to understand what I'm talking, giving the commands with. So some basic understanding of what is this about, a cognitive ability to think is good enough for very younger age of children, or the people who are in coma, the people who are unable to think, the people are very age old, or the person who has no understanding of the modern terminologies. For those people, it is possible to do remote sessions also. Like for a very young child, or the child who is just born, a child of 1 year, 2 year, who cannot speak, we can do a session for the mother who is very energetically connected to this child, and we can heal the child through the mother.
Okay, that is nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Yes, I actually work from Puttur, Mangalore district, but I also have plans to visit Bangalore in a month, maybe a few days in a month. I'm working on those plans. I'll share my contact number. Once you can ping me on WhatsApp, or you can call me, and I can share the locations of the offline sessions also. For online sessions also, you can book it online and I can take up the sessions. Any more questions? My contact number is in the chat box. It's 9611319643. You can ping me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can give me a call. You can also share my LinkedIn and Facebook profiles. You can share my LinkedIn profile also. Yes. Okay. I see that one person came just now. Okay, all right. So any more questions, or should we wind up? All right, I think that is it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your interest. And thank you so much for joining us today. I hope this information has helped you a lot. And may the universe bring you the best. And may the universe bless you with abundance of wealth, health, and prosperity. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a great time.